How are these sentences different from each other? Sheena bakes a cake. In this sentence, the verb bakes tells us about an action that is happening now. That is, in the present time. So, the verb bakes denotes the simple present tense. Sheena baked a cake. Here, the verb baked tells us about an action that was completed in the past. So, the verb baked expresses the simple past tense. Sheena will bake a cake. In this case, the verb will bake denotes an action that will be done at some point in the future. So, it is in the simple future tense. Here are the rules to identify the simple present, simple past, and simple future tenses. The simple present tense denotes an action in the present time. For example, he cooks the meals daily. I write short stories for the school magazine. We go to school daily. She cycles daily to work. They sing for the local music band. In the case of singular subjects except I, the simple present tense is formed by adding either s or es to the main verb. Observe the examples on the screen. In the case of plural subjects and I, only the simple base form of the verb is used. Observe how the verbs ask, invite, and go have been used. Is, am, and are, which are the present forms of the verb to be, are also used as main verbs while making sentences in the simple present tense. Is used with singular subjects except I. For example, she is a hardworking student. Am is used with I. For example, I am an artist. Are is used with plural subjects and you. For example, we are a group of paleontologists. You are a doctor. Observe how the negative form of the verb is formed in the simple present tense. When the subject is I, you, or plural, the words do not are added to the main verb. For example, they do not own this house. You do not watch cartoons. I do not sing very well. When the subject is singular, the words does not are added to the main verb. For example, she does not eat unhealthy food. Let's look at how the interrogative form of a verb is framed in the simple present tense. To ask a question in the simple present tense, the words do or does are added before the subject, followed by the base form of the verb. Do is used with I, you, and plural subjects. For example, do they practice yoga every morning? Do you know French? Does is used with singular subjects. For example, does this calculator work on solar power? To state facts or general truths, we mostly use the simple present tense. For example, the sun rises in the east. Paris is the capital of France. The simple present tense is also used to express habitual actions, generalizations, and events that take place repeatedly. For example, she jogs every morning. He plays the violin very well. We bake a cake at home every Christmas. The simple present tense also denotes events that will take place in the near future. For example, the bus leaves tomorrow at 9 a.m. The cookery class begins this evening. The simple past tense denotes an action that happened in the past. For example, I slept through the entire movie. He laughed throughout the program. She donated her blood to an accident victim. They completed the project on time. Observe how the negative form of the verb is framed in the simple past tense. We add did not before the verb for both singular and plural subjects. For example, I did not visit my dentist last evening. He did not receive my greeting card. They did not carry the picnic basket with them. Note that in the negative form of the simple past tense, the main verb is always used in the present tense. The past tense of the verbs is never used along with the auxiliary verb did. So, it will be incorrect to say, he did not wash his car yesterday. We must say, he did not wash his car yesterday. To form the interrogative form of the simple past tense, the auxiliary verb did is added before the subject, followed by the base form of the verb. For example, did you complete your homework? Did they inform you that I was not coming to school today? Note that both the verbs complete and inform are in the present tense. The past tense is also used to denote habits of the past. For example, we often climbed up that tree during our childhood years. I always walked through this park in the evenings. The simple future tense denotes an action that will take place in the future. For example, I shall write a letter to the manager of this company. She will return to college after the monsoons. He will finish his project by next Monday. We will come back home tomorrow. They will visit their grandparents this summer. Note that shall is only used with I or we, but it is also correct to say I will or we will. Shall is more formal and is considered outdated in many contexts. Observe how the negative form of the verbs in the simple future tense is formed. For example, I will not write the assignment this evening. She will not participate in the debate competition. They will not reach the venue on time. Observe how yes or no questions are formed in the simple future tense. For example, shall we visit the doctor today? Will you buy me a guitar? Observe how questions starting with where, when, what, and why are formed in the simple future tense. For example, where shall we deposit the money? When will the plane arrive? The simple future tense is used to express expected future events. For example, Simla will be extremely cold in December. The elections will be held next year. The simple future tense also denotes cause and effect scenarios. For example, if you do not mend your ways, you will fall into trouble. If I don't get all the ingredients, I will not make the pudding. Let us quickly summarize the main points. The simple present tense denotes an action in the present time. The simple past tense denotes an action that happened in the past. The simple future tense denotes an action that will take place in the future.